Well, hi, friends. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here. This is my daily diary segment. I'm going to let you know what I did each day from morning to night from Sunday, June 22nd through Wednesday, June 25th of 2025. So I was at the National Right to Life Convention out in Kansas City, finished up on Saturday night. And so Sunday morning, the 22nd, I went to the airport nice and early to catch a 5:25 a.m. flight from Kansas City back to Orlando. I worked in the car on the way to the airport, on the plane, there at the gate before boarding, and then on the plane, on various matters on my laptop, trip details for upcoming trips, the July meeting of the Pro-Life Leaders, the 115 Forum, some issues conversing with my technical staff about backups. It's the most important thing you do for your computer, by the way, backing up your data. Action alerts being approved to go out to our public email list, press releases being approved, and trip invitations being considered. I got back to Orlando, and then a volunteer picked me up and took me over to Mass, and we had a beautiful Mass. And after that Mass, he and his family, together with a couple of other families, went out to a nice lunch where we did some planning for collaboration between our various apostolates. This was a good, active group of Hispanic Catholics that are doing a lot of great work and with whom we will do more together. So after that very nice lunch, they drove me over to Titusville to our Priest for Life office. I gave them a tour of our headquarters there in Titusville, and then they said goodbye, and then I got to work on the unpacking and on a lot of work that was waiting for me at my desk, a lot of plans, and also including the detailed plans for the month of July, plans for broadcasting, articles that needed to be written, and so forth. So that took care of the rest of that afternoon into the evening. Monday, the 23rd, got started nice and early at my desk. Things on email such as scripture reflections being planned for the days that I would be traveling, further reflections on the Dobbs anniversary, Radio Maria programs, interviews of pro-life leaders being planned, and then those that were done already being distributed, communication with lifenews.com, planning of trips, and approval on or work on the Priest for Life Travelogue, which is the newsletter we send out on even-numbered months. There's a different newsletter for the odd months. Then I had the briefing with the staff, and after the briefing, wrote a column for lifenews.com. It was about the National Right to Life Convention that I had just come back from. At 10 a.m., I did a live broadcast of the daily scripture reflections in our TV studio. Then I met with our director of social media, and he also helps with the broadcasts. We had a good meeting. And then at 11 o'clock, met with our communications director. We're constantly talking about ways to get more of our articles published in more places from the Priest for Life team. Had on the conclusion of that at 11:30 a meeting with our executive director together with our youth outreach / street activism coordinator. At that meeting at 11:30. At 12, I had a meeting with, again, our social media coordinator and one of the leading Christian broadcasters in the conservative world, and we were making plans together for a new podcast. You'll hear more about that. When that was finished, and after I grabbed a quick lunch, I taped some program segments, I should say, for Radio Maria. We have a regular weekly program on there. I invited more guests to record interviews with us, inviting them via email. Did some work on the Priest for Life Travelogue, and other desk work and communicating with staff during the course of the afternoon. Also prepared the Praying for America broadcast, which then I did at 4 p.m. in the TV studio. And after that, began to get end-of-day updates from staff and working at my desk and working on signing cards and working on plans for the month of July and all that kind of thing right through the rest of the evening. Tuesday, the 24th of June. Starting out as usual early at my desk. Let's see, I had to do desk work relating to the Radio Maria programs, video preparation, a 115 forum, planning the meeting of the pro-life leaders, that is, special email regarding the Dobbs anniversary, Supreme Court decision, approvals of email blasts going out, faxes going out from us to the churches, choosing the next pro-life leader spotlight for our next pastoral team meeting, communication about an interview that Jennifer O'Neill did with us. She has been a spokesperson for our Silent No More campaign and still is. The arrangements being made for visitors to our office, business cards for our associate director. I make sure that staff is keeping them supplied. National Right to Life, follow-up communication with people in various states. I had seen them at the convention, of course. Scheduling more tapings. Working with some pro-life attorneys regarding depositions of abortionists, and communicating with a key researcher in pro-life messaging. Very interesting stuff. At 10:30, I was in the TV studio doing an interview with Terry Schilling of the American Principles Project. Some of you know him and are connected with him on social media. You would have seen some clips of that interview here on these platforms. And then I did a pro-life primetime program, taping that in the studio at 11:30. Had some lunch, and then at 1:30, I left the office to drive about an hour north of our office to Palm Coast, where I was happy to participate in a strategy meeting, a special dinner, and then give a main talk at a gathering done by a statewide Florida pro-life group called Florida Voice for the Unborn. There were people there from around the state. It was great to be with them. I brought Priests for Life materials. I gave a talk, and everyone enjoyed it, and we had a great time together. Then I drove back at the end of that to the office in Titusville. And finally, on Wednesday, the 25th of June, I started out nice and early in the morning. I had to go get some blood work done. Nothing wrong, just a routine blood work for my doctor. Everything is in good health. Then went back to my desk doing things such as updates in regard to, let's see, what does this say? Pledges, our monthly pledgers on whom we rely for support. Working with staff on what we call our Frontlines page, the page on the website where you can see what we do out on our various trips. Preparations of more interviews, working with our video guys to improve and modify some of our intros and outros to some of our programs. Some technical conversations with our technical team, approval of opinion pieces going out by various members of our team, and conversation with members of our team regarding donor calls. Let's see, I did a favor for Janet, our executive director, who is recovering from her knee surgery. And I picked up the doggies, the mascots of Priests for Life, and took them to the groomer for their appointment. At 11:15 in our TV studio, I interviewed a Hispanic Catholic leader. Excellent. Interviewed him for my program. He interviewed me for his. And then at 12:30, I had a meeting, an executive planning meeting with our executive director and vice chairman. Very good conversations with them. Right after that, a 1:30 interview of a young pro-life man from Rhode Island. It was actually a youth leader who won the national oratory contest that National Right to Life conducts each year. And he came on the program and he shared his winning oratory speech. You may have seen it on our broadcasts. More work at my desk, and then at 3 o'clock, I am a member of the board of directors of the Center for Bioethical Reform, and so we had a board meeting by phone, and I had to be on that. I did that for an hour, and then right after that, I had some further appointments and work in the office, and then went to pick up the doggies later from their grooming appointment, bring them back to our executive director, and then did some quiet work at night, planning for the month of July, writing more cards for donors, and then at 9:15 p.m., hopped onto a national live radio program with Richie Valdez, very good program, who was asking me about religious freedom in particular and the great progress our nation is making on that front. Those were my activities then from the 22nd through the 25th of June. I hope your activities are fruitful and blessed. May we all keep pushing forward for the protection of the unborn.